Alright, so this is a full factory showcase video, basically. I'm going to show off my main world factory that I do a lot of my stuff on. This is just the main area where I have my hub. That's where I originally set up the... Did not really de-strike look to that, that's nice. As you can see, it's a mess. Yes, this was completely necessary. Holy moly, this is already started to fill back up. It's recovering. So I started a new project out there around my alien power augmenter. Down here it's a mess so bad I don't even know what half this stuff does. Other than that, we have a steel storage right there, and that's it. Everything else, I don't know where the actual heck what the actual heck it is. But basically, over there we have a giant production just for the sake of making reinforced iron plates, and if you can look at it, it's pretty obvious that it was doing its job. We have our original storage tower that is kind of with multiple other things. Yes, the storage tower was just for freaking raw, for straight up iron ingots, because apparently the system was so slow that the iron ingots piled up and they needed someone to store them. However, I don't really know it. I don't think it's actually taking anything anymore. Well, this is a location to be. Oh well. Yeah, there's really not much over here, actually. Well, it's not actually much that I can actually know what it actually does. I know I put a whole production for screws over there to help my dying production line. Over this way we have the original production for my oil products, which is actually very effective. Or was really. It's gotten to a point where the system itself is stopped up, and somehow my plastic has such a good production that it takes up 2.5 industrial storage containers. I'm gonna build another one, but it needs help. I think I might help with it. Get oil production, get fuel production specifically back up a bit higher up, so we'll have more resources for them. I think I should make a whole tower just for freaking plastic. Actually, this is what I should send through my new conveyor NATO. Yes, this whole conveyor NATO thing I'm talking about, I did take complete inspiration from Let's Game It Out. Because that guy's actually, I think, my favorite YouTuber that does Satisfactory. I mean, seriously, I'm taking a whole inspiration. So I'm just gonna hook up. Oh, come on. Yes. Perfect. Eventually I'll send some nuclear waste through that. But until then, it's gonna send some plastic through there. But anyways. So, I guess the first question is also that's a friend I have on here, so I'm reading. Yeah, that's my brother, actually. Yeah, that's my brother. I plan to have someone else eventually get on here. Not have to actually do anything much, just to look around. They might help me though with some stuff, but I am the main contributor to this world. They have done. They mostly actually. He's actually done a little bit of stuff there as well. Also, that box right there is my hypertube hub, where I don't know where a single hypertube goes. Half of them just lead right in front of it. This leads to a whole production line. Hold up. Sorry about that. My mom just got home, so I had to turn my mic off to let her know. Yeah, this is actually where I got my original oil set up. It's where, as you can see, the vast expanse of my main base. So we travel across this conventional pathway. For a while I used to use the zipline on here. Yeah, it was very safe. Yeah, actually it was very, very safe. Trust. I mean, seriously, there's like no way I could have ever fallen off while ziplining on here. It's like, who would do that? Hey, there's my newish coal power plant. Actually, yeah, that is the newest coal power plant. As it was set up so that I can have an effective power plant that won't screw something over. Oh man. Kind of over here, we have a basic setup right here. Fuel power plant. Not much actually happens over here. So actually, follow this, it actually gets not far. To save my dying factory from falling into the abyss and not having enough resources for conveyor belts, trust me. So I did this, this was definitely necessary. So basically I set up a whole steel production over here. I also have every intention of setting up a mass system for just producing aluminum sheets so I can upgrade most of my conveyor belts to upgrade most of my conveyor belts to Mark 5, or all new conveyor belts at least. I'll call it, of course it's a concrete, it's not enough. See here, I can probably overclock some of those. The issue is that it's not enough freaking limestone. I'm going all the way back there, but yeah, that's material production. However, this conveyor belt made it no longer safe, so they no longer safe to really zipline off the there, so. fix the landing. Of course, we have our awesome flying power ball. I really don't know what you're for. No, seriously, what is his entire purpose? He has one freaking connection. I'll let him be. So yeah, I need to upgrade that real quick. So I guess you guys can get a view of what the factory, this section of the factory looks like, I guess. Remember when it didn't do that from when you tried to get off of there. I know there's some limestone this way. No, it's this way. Yeah, I'm gonna have to put some boosting on you. Let's see here. These are Mark 3, which can transfer 270 resources per minute. Right? They're doing testing. So I'm going to output exactly 270. So now, maximum efficiency, which means more encased industrial beams. You see where this is going, right? Yes. And yes, this does produce a good amount of power. Alright, so I guess the next section I should show you is the newest power plant that was added. That's an actual power plant, not a single power augmenter that boosted my production until it no longer goes over maximum power consumption, no? Perfect. Just perfect. Every little thing. Okay. So yeah, now you guys have to watch. You go back along this foundation pathway that has now 4 things going across it. Power lines, a pipe, hypertube, and conveyor belt now. It's probably safer to zipline across it, but most parts of that is. I mean, there's a few questionable sections that were. Most of the power lines and piping were built after the foundation, obviously. And therefore, I had to be. And it was at a time of relative poverty where it was. I did not have dimensional depots. I did not have a majority of the stuff I have in this current version. This showcase right now. In fact, this hypertube was set up after the pipes. However, I do think I had this zipline at the time, which is why. So it became my primary mode of transport. Plus, it was back when I was a lot better at hypertubes. I keep trying to remind myself to try to get signs so I can label my hypertubes to actually know where they go. Then again, I like the mystery. Or do I? I don't know. Yeah, I really don't know what half this stuff is over here. Oh right, I forgot about that. I think I used to have something producing that stuff, but it became too hot. But the amount of power produced compared to the cost wasn't worth it. Now I don't remember where you go. Oh right, this is actually the one I'm looking for. No, wait, this is not. This isn't the one I was going for, but this one's the lead somewhere. Yeah, these are a basic copper production. Apparently I've produced copper sheets too early on in the game. And of course the most dangerous spy bridge. And And guys, for a while it was very dangerous for us until it wasn't. But yeah, I kind of got rid of the container for this because why would the actual heck would I need so much freaking Caterium ore? I think I set it up with the man. Man, not big guys. What do we have? Ooh. We got all this valuable stuff I left in here. Actually, there's nothing else valuable in there because I already have those. So I'm gonna put you in here. Seriously? Here's the train. It's somewhere. I know it just arrived a second ago. Yeah, it is. Anyways, I'm gonna dump you guys in there. And then, of course, I have the mass iron bar production, or whatever it was called. Sheesh, that could have literally killed me. That would not have been fun. Also, I have disabled like monsters attacking me, and I've been able to keep inventory because I really don't want to lose all my progress on here. Or if I don't really want to lose stuff on here at this point. And I'm not the greatest at like combat of any sort. And real quick, I'm going to go grab a lot of this and dump it in here. Alright, I think there's actually, this is just about all that's over here. I mean, over that way you have the miners for it. You needed to see my one foundation creation to get up onto the platform. And by the way, that was only there for some different boards. So back to the base I go on a wonderful adventure. It really isn't wonderful. But yeah, it even slowed down the rate my coal could get back to my factory, which is awesome. So basically, yeah, you have this massive screw production. Random stuff. I really don't know what half the stuff even does anymore. This all down there was built in the desperate process of trying to improve my factory at the moment. Let's see here, where do you go? Oh, you go back to the hub, I don't need you. Get back in here. One of you is useful, not you. Nor you. So which of you goes where we need to go? There we go. Alright, and this is the last hypertube from that hypertube area, that is. This leads to the original coal power plant. The original. It's also where I have some production lines. Specifically my production for encased industrial beams. And that's what used to support my factory for quite some time. And still does, actually. all the resources from it, of course, get transported in massive amounts from via train. Because I did not want to do the painful process of setting up a conveyor belt, because there's also quartz production over there. It's doing something. I don't know what it's doing. Hold up, we might have a run-in with it. Or not, I guess. Wow. I guess we really won't get to see the train today. So we happened to be at the wrong spot at the wrong time. Dang. As you can see, let's see here what Bruce said. Something today. Wow, we already have 5 of this. Yeah, the factory area over here is kind of sad. It's really depressed and sad. Holy moly, where are you lacking now? Oh, you're just full. Okay. Let's see here. What are you lacking? What the actual heck? Oh, it's just an overflow. Why are you guys freaking the heck out? Are you seriously kidding me? Well, no wonder. I'm gonna improve it real quick. So no wonder this entire factory has been, this entire production line has been painful. Let me guess, you're producing twice as fast as the second conveyor belt could even move. No wonder. Seriously, I might have just improved my entire factory at this point. You didn't have to be kidding me. Did I do the same thing? No, I did not. It's just 60 and it's trying to go between 45 per minute. Are you freaking kidding me? This is the pinnacle of bad design. Like, there's Let's Game It Out have bad design. And then there's this. At least Let's Game It Out. At least it's resources to get somewhere. Minus, so I know I said 20, so that would not be enough to support it. Man, I'll boost you up all the way because I want to make sure that this thing gets a surplus. Hold up, and that means I can boost you. Huh? The numbers aren't adding up. I'm saying that right now. So now you will always have enough resources. So yeah. Oh, come on. Oh, no wonder. Coal is slow. Oh, come on, now I have to wait for this to restock. I'll at least boost these to Mark 3. Bare minimum requirement at this point. So it should be Mark 3 or better in my factory, unless there's some ancient production line that I'm no longer relying on. But this is a production I'm relying on for my direct resource. Of course it's this one. You've got to be kidding me. What are you replacing as? That number. Alright, and these guys are requesting a little less than that. And a little less than that, okay. Hold up. Both of you are requesting. Which means I need to double this production. 112, and I think that should be able to be easily supported with how I'm setting this up now. Where the heck is it going to storage container? Where are you all going? Oh, okay. That makes sense. Going into the power supply. Sadly, not fast enough. Well, I might have boosted it significantly. It's asking for 18 per minute. Each of you produced 15 per minute, so actually I can reduce this rate. It's 112 over 2. 112 over 2 is 56. 55.8 is a good number. Perfect. Plus it still meets the requirements, which means this guy has now been boosted up to its full potential. Means more production. Plus with the surplus now, and so this guy will start filling up. So that loop could be more perfect. Indeed. Not perfect enough. I think that'll support it much better. Well, I am a bit too cheap to just do a conveyor belt. What the actual heck? And then you, of course, will go right here. Kaboom! Bada bang, bada boom. This will clearly be enough. And seriously, this is like the maximum storage. I seriously, I love getting steel plates bashed into my head. Alright, enough of this place. Alright, moving on. My very newest production line that I've actually ever built in this entire world is what you guys will be able to see next. Is my newest aluminum production. How do I get there? Now it's up there, so I'm gonna have to... So I forgot the actual way I was supposed to go there, so... I'm gonna go the unconventional way. Like any Satisfactory YouTuber should, of course. This is where I hooked up the power cable for it. No. Okay. Ugh. Now, of course, somewhere along this route, I found uranium. Yeah, I did find some uranium somewhere. I forgot where I actually covered it up, though. Yeah, I really did forget. Just gonna look around and see if I'm... Oh yeah, that's where it is, right there. There's some uranium right there. Seriously, look at this lovely copper. Yes, this is like some lovely copper right now. Oh, what the heck? Huh? Does it seriously? Of course it did. Right. And this guy clogged himself, so real quick. I guess like you. Here's 120. You want 360. Therefore, it needs 270 or so. 240. No wonder it crashed. Share review. Cap you out and boom. That would fix it, and then I just need to flush the... Flush the network. Actually fix it. Then you can get going. And that should drain you, and basically do it. Now then, how much did it produce before it failed? Bruh. This needs to be faster. Seriously. Then again, we barely produced a full stack of this. Your overflow should head to storage, mainline, production. You want 30 per minute. This guy's able to supply 60. Assuming there's enough freaking silica. The issue is that this guy, not this guy, this guy brings 100 silica per minute. These guys want 25 per minute. So they should be getting more than enough. Okay. You want 75, you want 25 instead of 100 block. So technically. However, this guy gets an overflow amount. Whereas this guy doesn't get enough because the way it's split. Therefore, I'm going to rework this entire organization system. Because I just realized that. So actually, that was really nice. Okay. So we'll go in here, right? So then get split into 3 paths. But no, I want to split into 4 paths. four paths, okay? And then, of course, I then put a conveyor merger right about here, so you up to there, you up to there, and then there. And I can hook you up to here, you to here. Boom. The perfect ratio of 3 to 4. Which means 3/4 of the production will go here, whereas 1/4 is there. Learn that. But of course, that relies on the fact that this guy is running at all times. But of course, that builds up faster. Then this is where you use it. It's using 240. Produce 240. But this isn't used up fast enough. Well, I might have said I did not want to go hunt down orcs. I really need to boost the system. It's currently use 90 per minute. You use 30 per minute, which only adds up to 120. But you produce 3 times the amount of that, so I would need 6 of these just to support this system. Over all of these are super far away or are already in usage. And I really don't want to rerun those. Hold up, I have a perfectly good copper line right here. It's so. Yes, okay, did you seriously fill up and flood this entire system? Yes, you did. Good job. Doing exactly what you meant to do, actually. So I'm gonna now put you guys right in here. Of course, I can't have this stuff. Well, I could care less about where these guys go. I need to start to dump these extra resources that are clogging up the system. Of course, I'm going to have silica. Where are you? You need an S. Okay, silica goes that way. Copper ore goes that way. It overflow goes that way. It just means that well, of course I'll put oh, you have to be kidding me. Well, I don't want to have to. Hold up. And an overflow. As long as that guy isn't running at full capacity, nothing can run at full capacity. why the overflows. Huh? Oh, right, I never hooked it up to power yet. Oops. Let's see here, we're the nearest power line. That's not Phil. That should be enough. So now, all the resources. So of course I don't know what the actual heck is getting dumped in there that causes that many points to get added, but I don't really care. As long as, of course, this runs at max capacity. You never stop because this gets drained. Hold up. These are marked 4. Thinking, right? 480, which means I need to mark 5 for the output. Because you have to divide 480 by 5, and not by 5, by 2 is active, which means I'm putting 5 there. So that it can combine both outputs at maximum efficiency. 780, it gains 300. Well, that might not be the perfect double. It means that this entire production line will never stop. And so the loop. Let's see why silica minute. Because until I actually feel like hooking stuff up, I'm just gonna have to do this solution. Hold on, I'm gonna search Google real quick. Alternate recipe for silica. Sorry guys, this was supposed to be a showcase, but this is, I mean this basically is a showcase. Went up there, I really not got much other than where I've simply mapped out this area, that's about it. I've not really set up production. I plan to probably build an actual production line there. The downside is, hold on, I'm gonna search for quartz. I'm hoping that there's gonna be some quartz in that area. So I don't have to bring it all the way down that way. So basically, no, okay. But yeah, okay. So other than this quartz reduction that I've now saved, we also have this wonderful seriously, how would we fucking die? Why aren't you working, eh? Oh, the article's full up on you because apparently this factory is so freaking efficient. Because of course I always go a tiny bit under the requirement when I'm trying to do stuff, unless it's a case of where I'm trying to be as cheap as physically possible. Like right now. Hold on. Yeah, if you ever go together, I'll have an issue. Oh, okay. watching you. I feel like there's something wrong about this. Ah, there it is. Thing is that, well, this guy might be asking for 360. This guy produces 120, but it doesn't leave the thing fast enough. But that can be easily fixed, actually, very easily fixed. And of course, make sure that it's going the right way. This should hopefully improve. Oh yes, much better. Because you would never turn yellow ever again. And you have to get it. The thing is that it's still slow. Well, it may not be nearly as bad. Going for the perfect number never actually works, because there's always some sort of inconsistency, which means there's going to be a heavy back. Let's go to a 245. 246. So now that is happening. You have to be kidding me. What I will do though, now is that I'm going to have a valve here. I don't really need a pump on that. I can simply put the valve there. There won't be actually any limitations, it'll mostly be complicate everything. What's your problem? Of course. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to get off though, but I wish there was like a drain type thing. Hold up. Yeah, 120. You need 360. So, alright. Should have kept on 240. Perfect. Even the box size is too good. Guys, goodbye.